Women prefer to rule weak men than to be ruled by strong ones. Napoleon Bonaparte. History remembers Napoleon as a conqueror of nations, but few know his brutal insights about women and power. The man who built an empire understood something most dare not speak aloud. Great men frighten women. Not because women are weak, but because greatness demands sacrifice. Few relationships survive. This observation comes not from hatred, but from patterns Napoleon witnessed throughout his dramatic life. These patterns continue today in every relationship. Between ambitious men and the women who claim to support them, greatness extracts a heavy toll. Men of vision cannot divide their focus. Their minds constantly plan, build, and solve problems beyond the daily concerns of relationships. Napoleon saw this pattern not just as a military leader, but in his personal life. His marriage to Josephine revealed the painful truth. While he conquered Europe, she sought comfort in the arms of other men. His letters show a man torn between his destiny and his desire for love. The higher he climbed toward glory, the more his personal life crumbled. This contradiction plagued him until he finally understood the fundamental truth about power and attraction. Most women say they want a powerful man, but powerful men make terrible husbands. They work obsessively. They think constantly. Their attention remains fixed on problems and opportunities others cannot see. In their relentless pursuit of achievement, emotional maintenance becomes secondary. Napoleon recognized this painful dynamic through bitter experience. Napoleon summarized this reality perfectly. Women prefer to rule weak men than to be ruled by strong ones. He observed this, not from hatred, but from repeated experience across his life and the lives of his commanders. In his view, most women claim to admire strength, but choose men they can influence and control. He did not seek to insult women with this observation. He sought to expose the uncomfortable truth that genuine greatness often repels the very people who claim to desire it. His conclusion came not from bitterness, but from watching the same pattern unfold across society and time. The truly exceptional man often walks a solitary path, not because he rejects companionship, but because his excellence places him beyond common understanding. The very qualities that make him historically significant, focus, ambition, unyielding standards, make him difficult in intimate relationships. Examine our world today. We praise excellence in theory, but punish it in practice. When a man dedicates himself completely to his purpose, his relationships often suffer. Does this sound familiar? Napoleon experienced this contradiction 2 centuries ago. The modern, successful man believes his achievements will make him more attractive. The reality proves different. His dedication to excellence often creates distance. His focus appears as neglect. His standards become labeled as demanding or difficult. Many women say they want a successful partner, but grow uncomfortable with what true success requires. Long hours, mental preoccupation, and emotional discipline. They desire the fruits of greatness, status, security, respect without accepting the garden requires constant tending. Look around at truly exceptional men today. How many maintain happy marriages? How many find themselves divorced, distanced, or domesticated? Their partners, initially attracted to their drive and ambition, gradually pull away from greatness toward comfort, from challenge toward predictability. Pattern repeats because human nature remains unchanged. Women often select partners based not on admiration, but on emotional accessibility. A man consumed by vision appears emotionally unavailable regardless of his feelings. His mind operates elsewhere, solving problems, creating value, building legacy. But for the man pursuing his highest potential, emotional security remains elusive, almost impossible, because his mind never rests. And in pursuing excellence, he threatens the foundation of many relationships, consistent emotional availability. Napoleon lived this painful contradiction. The commander who directed thousands could not maintain the affection of one woman. His strategic brilliance that changed nations could not solve the basic human need for understanding. The modern man believes if he achieves enough, sacrifices enough, builds enough, he will finally earn deep love and respect. Napoleon would laugh at this delusion. He discovered the bitter irony that the more exceptional you become, the more you threaten those seeking stability over significance. Do you want achievement or acceptance? Do you want to build something lasting or maintain comfortable peace at home? Because Napoleon understood the reality, most people choose comfort over greatness. Every time, every man who has sacrificed for his vision understands what Napoleon experienced. You give everything, your time, your energy, your complete mental focus toward building something meaningful, only to find yourself criticized for it, not celebrated, not supported, but misunderstood because your dedication highlights what others lack: purpose, discipline, and direction. Your commitment becomes interpreted as coldness. Your focus becomes labeled as distance. Your silence while solving problems becomes misread as emotional withdrawal. But how else does one create something exceptional? Greatness requires concentration so intense it appears antisocial to those who never experience it. Let me be clear. Napoleon did not despise women. He simply recognized the truth most men refuse to acknowledge, that what people claim to respect often makes them uncomfortable up close. The ambition that looks attractive from a distance becomes threatening in daily life. The focus that builds empires leaves little room for the small talk that builds intimacy. If you believe love will protect you from this reality, ask yourself why so many brilliant, disciplined men find themselves abandoned by those who once proclaimed devotion. Because love without understanding remains temporary, and most people cannot understand what drives someone to sacrifice present comfort for future achievement. This explains why Napoleon spoke so candidly about relationships. He had attempted genuine partnership and found it lacking. Not because he could not love deeply, but because his purpose demanded more than love could withstand. When a man chooses his mission over momentary pleasures, he must also accept certain solitude. This represents the ancient, unavoidable exchange. Achievement or affection, rarely both simultaneously. The higher a man climbs, the thinner the air becomes, and fewer people can breathe alongside him. Not because he rejects company, but because few can match his pace or understand his perspective. This cruel reality follows every great man through history. You can have meaningful impact or emotional comfort, but seldom both. Those who attempt the middle path often achieve neither. They compromise their vision to maintain harmony and sacrifice their relationships anyway, because half measures satisfy no one. Our modern society refuses to acknowledge an uncomfortable fact. Most people, including many women, fear truly exceptional individuals, not from malice, but from self-preservation. You cannot predict or easily influence someone dedicated to something beyond themselves. So society labels such men difficult, unavailable, obsessed, impossible to please. They become categorized as toxic simply for refusing to prioritize emotional maintenance over meaningful achievement. Napoleon faced similar criticism. His intensity, his standards, his relentless drive toward excellence made him a military genius, but a challenging companion. His downfall came partly from believing those closest to him could understand his vision. They rarely did. Instead, they wanted the normal parts of him, the accessible emotions, the predictable responses. But greatness does not develop from normalcy. It emerges from obsession. Men who transform industries, revolutionize fields, or create lasting impact share one quality. They refuse to be domesticated. They cannot be emotionally leashed or socially contained. Their value comes precisely from what makes them difficult, their unwillingness to accept comfortable mediocrity. Here lies the quiet truth nobody discusses openly. A man must choose his path. He can dedicate himself to his purpose and change the world, or dedicate himself to pleasing others and maintain peace. One brings historical impact. The other brings personal comfort. Rarely can he have both. This explains why many exceptional men throughout history lived complicated personal lives. Their greatness demanded priorities incompatible with conventional relationship expectations. They chose impact over intimacy, legacy over love, creation over comfort. Consider this surprising twist. Many women who choose comfortable, compliant partners never fully respect them. They may appreciate their reliability, their constant presence, their emotional support. Yet deep admiration requires witnessing struggle, excellence, and achievement. Qualities that make a man challenging to live with often make him impossible to forget. The intensity that disrupts daily harmony often creates undeniable attraction. The focus that appears as emotional distance often produces results that command genuine respect. You, the man pursuing excellence against all resistance, must understand your struggles stem not from personal failure. Your relationships face challenges not because you lack compassion, but because your dedication threatens complacency. So do not envy those who never face criticism. Recognize their apparent harmony often comes at the cost of their potential. Do not mistake emotional dependence for love or constant presence for passion. Because ultimately, comfort creates no monuments. Convenience writes no symphonies. Easy companionship launches no revolutions. Stop questioning why maintaining relationships feels difficult while pursuing greatness. You already know the answer. Most people crave stability above all else. And you, my friend, represent change. You represent challenge. You represent the uncomfortable truth that more remains possible than most dare attempt. This does not mean you must choose between all achievement and all connection, but it means understanding that true greatness comes with costs. Napoleon paid them. Every exceptional man throughout history paid them. The question remains, are you willing to pay them too? This message likely disturbed your comfortable assumptions about relationships and success. If these insights forced you to question what you thought you understood about greatness and its personal cost, take action now. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell because truth, like greatness itself, arrives unexpectedly and changes everything it touches. The path of the exceptional remains lonely but never insignificant. Join our community of men who refuse to diminish themselves for temporary approval.